thank you to ISST for setting up the live stream. Introductions to myself. My name's Chris Dolby. I'm a former professional football player, coach and manager here in the UK. So my career started when I was a young boy, like many aspiring footballers. So playing in the park, playing for my school, and I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to join a second division club when I was 16 years old. So from leaving school, my journey went into full-time football. During that time, you learnt your trade as an apprenticeship football player, and then obviously you aspire to making the grade as a professional player, which I was fortunate enough to do. In total, I spent, including my apprenticeship years, I spent nearly 6-7 years in full-time football. From coming out of full-time football at the tender age of 25, I went into semi-professional football and then started to learn the trade of becoming a coach. So I was still very young, still playing at a very high level of football, but then became enthralled really in the coaching and management side of the game. So I had the best of both worlds. I was still playing conference football, which is still a very high level of football here in the UK, which is actually now full-time. And so I started taking my coaching badges with the Football Association, with the English FA, and I did my coaching badges. So during that journey, still playing, now coaching, I got the opportunity to go back into full-time football, so working in professional football clubs, helping academy players make the grade, so become professional players. So during that journey, I could pass on some of my knowledge and experience of what I'd been through as a player, still playing, but still working with younger players and giving them my knowledge and experience of what it takes to make a professional footballer. During this time, I was learning what coaching was about, and it's certainly different from playing. When you're a player, you look after yourself, you look after your own performances, you make sure that you're physically fit, you make sure that you're mentally right for games, and you prepare. Okay, you're playing in a team sport, and football is a team sport, but actually, when you're a coach, you're looking after 11 players that are on the pitch, plus the substitutes that are not playing. So you have to look after many more people around you. So it's not about looking after yourself now, it's about looking after the team and looking after the squad. So what are the key areas of that? Well, I learned very quickly that a lot of my knowledge and experience was gained from not only playing, but the managers that I'd worked with. So you get managers that you really take to and you get on with, and you also get managers that things don't quite work out. And I use that experience to look at the good and the bad experience that I'd had from managers in the professional game when I was playing full-time football, to say, okay, I'm going to try and use this knowledge and experience to lead me into my coaching career. So I spent nearly 8 to 10 years working in academies, so working with players that are 16, wanting to get that contract, wanting to get on the ladder of becoming a professional football player. And we had some real success, and I look back at those times to think, well, we've helped players with their journey. So the game's changed, obviously, from when I played and when I went into academy football in the world of professional football. The game has certainly changed quite dramatically, really, in how the football clubs operate, and also how coaches and managers now use science and technology to help them in their performance as a manager. So I've made some notes, but I'm just going to keep flitting back to my notes so I keep in line with what I want to get across to you, because that's very important. So looking at how the game's changed, the science, the scouting technology, and the business side of the game has certainly changed. When I was playing, there was a manager and there was an assistant manager, and really that was the management team. I think now, if you look at the Premier League, for example, and I'm sure many of you get chance to view the Premier League when it's live on TV. If you look at the bench now and you look at where the manager sat and you look behind the manager, you see 10, 15 members of staff. And all these individuals have got a key part to play in what the performance is on the pitch. So sports psychologist, physiotherapist, you're looking at the analysis, you're looking at the technical coach. So all these things come into play to give you what is now a manager with all this knowledge and experience to help the manager make key decisions. Okay, so the manager's still in charge. He's still, or she's still, the main individual that makes the key decisions. But what has happened now in the world of football is that science and technology is so important. It gives you so much opportunity to receive key information. And this is not guesswork. This is science at its best. I recall when I was a young player, a young professional player in the early 90s, pre-season training was a key part of the a key part of your preparation for the start of the season. And I look back at how managers used to get us fit and ready for the season, and it was a real slog. It was hard work. But I look back at those times, and there was no scientific evidence to why we did the training we did. It was a manager just almost learning on the spot, thinking that, okay, let's really just run these players into the ground and that will get them physically fit for the season, when actually that was detrimental to our fitness for the season. When you look at sports science and you look at the backroom team now in and around the world of football, we're talking about key information. We're talking about the actual minute bit of information that makes a difference to winning and losing, or to being successful as a football club. Okay, so my advice to any aspiring coach, manager of today is to really continue your development as a coach. Get on as many courses that you can possibly get. I know the FAs within each country will give you some great courses to enroll on, and be open-minded with your approach to coaching and managing. The best managers in the world are not necessarily the best technical coaches in the world. Let's look at Sir Alex Ferguson, who I hope we all know. If you don't know, Alex Ferguson, one of the greatest managers of all time, took Manchester United from a mediocre team to one of the best teams in the land. Alex Ferguson is not a technical coach on the pitch that will put on amazing coaching sessions. What Alex Ferguson has the ability to do is man manage. If you're going to be a top coach, a top manager, you have to be able to treat individuals differently. Each individual is unique in their own way. They all need different skills and different ways of working. So you have to ensure that you have an ability to be adaptable as a manager. Some players will need real care taken towards them, make them feel special. Okay, some players really need you to come down hard on them and give them a real hard time because they react in a positive way to that. So just be mindful of what a good manager needs to have, or she needs to have as a tool to get the best out of players. Being a good coach is slightly different. Being a good coach is being able to deliver coaching sessions and deliver coaching drills that will challenge a group of players, but will also help individual players within that setting. So always make sure that you, as a coach, get as much knowledge and experience by going and looking at other coaches' work. Don't be afraid to go and watch coaches' work. Don't be afraid to go online and watch coaches deliver sessions. And what I don't want to become is a coach or a manager that is just reactive because you've seen something new. You feel that that's the way that you have to work. That's not what I'm saying. The point I'm trying to get across to you as a developing coach or a manager is get as much information as you can, and then filter through that information and really work out who are you as a coach, who are you as a manager, and take the bits out of everybody that you feel will help you improve your knowledge and understanding as a coach and as a manager. So I'm just going to move on to obviously the science of football now and how that has changed how we think. And how we operate as a football club, because you look at the team within the industry of football now, working especially professional football clubs. Now, when I'm talking to you live here, I'm very mindful that there's a spectrum within football, and there's only a small percent of individuals that will operate at professional levels. This is why I want you to really believe in the skills that you have, because you can make a massive difference to people's knowledge and understanding of football at grassroots level. You can create a real good environment for young players that play for the love of the game, that play on grass pitches because they just love playing football, recreation football as we call it. But still, as a coach and as a manager, you can give so much knowledge to these young players, okay? And don't be afraid to use the sports psychology. Don't be afraid to use the science that is around football, because that will help you as a coach and as a manager develop these younger players and give them the aspirations to improve themselves as players. I'm just looking at some of the questions here. I think Indian coaches, we're asking about some questions here about how Indian coaches can improve. I don't think it's a case of if you're a coach in India or if you're a coach in England. Yes, the game does change from time to time from different nations, different tactical approaches to games. But as a coach and as a manager, you have to be mindful that you can adapt to any situation. Don't just put yourself in a pigeonhole where you can only work with one type of player because that's how you operate. You've got to be really open-minded and be able to work with as many different types of players at all different levels. You've got to be able to work with grassroots players, but you've also got to have the confidence and the ability that one day you can go and work with elite players. A question here. Okay, so if you don't have playing experience, can you become a football coach? Absolutely, yes. If you look at some of the best managers in the world, Jose Mourinho, for example, a key example, wasn't the most gifted player in the world. He played recreation football, but actually he went to work with Bobby Robson at Barcelona and soaked up all that information off Sir Bobby Robson and got so much knowledge and experience that he kept learning and learning and learning. and then became one of the greatest tacticians that we've ever seen manage the game of football. So being a great player doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a great manager. So the answer to your question, no, you don't have to be a great player to become a very good, competent manager. I think infrastructure is key. I've got a question here about the infrastructure. I think governing bodies have a big part to play in the infrastructure of grassroots football, because ultimately grassroots football club is where it all starts. If you don't get the right coaching messages across to young players at the very tender age when they start playing football, then we are losing out on a key part of their development stage. So the FA take huge responsibility in creating an environment to get good coaches, grassroots coaches, working with the young children to upskill their knowledge and experiences. But don't always leave it to the governing bodies. Again, as coaching and managers, take some responsibility in your own development, and don't be afraid to try new things. The one thing you've got to be prepared for as a coach is to make mistakes. The best managers in the world, believe me, make mistakes, and it costs them games, may cost them leagues. But we have to be prepared to get out of the comfort zone, as I call it, and go and challenge yourself. Go and play a new formation. Go and play a player that's a defensive player. Go and play him in midfield. Okay, let the players challenge themselves. So be very open-minded. So youth academy football, I've got a message here about youth academy football. Youth academy football now here in the UK will take players from the age of 8 years old. Will be in a professional system, and they can be in and out of that system right up until the age of 18. So it's a very, very difficult career to make the grade. But it's vitally important that we don't just focus on professional football clubs. We're trying to create better coaches. We're trying to create better managers. So why not start your journey at grassroots football and really give yourself a platform to develop and nurture talent within the country that you're operating in. I'm just going to move on now. I'm really pleased that my role at Sheffield Football Club, which is the world's first football club, the oldest football club, formed in 1857, we've got a duty of care to ensure that we continue to help educate the football world on the beautiful game, and education is very important to us as an organisation. We've got a fantastic partnership now with Leeds United Football Club, who are in the Championship and hopefully will get promoted to the Premiership this year. And our latest partner, which we are very excited to be partners with, is ISST. We're so excited about this partnership because we know the passion that ISST have in helping people realise their ambitions and to give fantastic knowledge and experience through their networks and how they share their knowledge and experiences, and we're very proud to be part of that. So Introduction to Football Management and Coaching is a course, a 3-month diploma that we are launching with ISST. It's got key areas: financial management, strategic management, looking at club and player usage on social media channels, and the technical and the technology within football clubs now. So there's some real key knowledge and experience gone into this 3-month diploma, both by Leeds United and ourselves at Sheffield FC, with the fantastic support of ISST. So I would urge anyone who's got any ambition becoming a better coach and a better manager to really look at getting involved in the course and again challenging yourself to become better, because never stand still. Keep learning, keep the knowledge, and on there is some key information from myself that we put together. So I think it's going to be a great course, and we'll be here to help and support as well alongside ISST and Leeds United College. So hopefully you will join the course and continue your journey with us, and hopefully we can make you a better coach, a better manager with our knowledge and understanding of the game of football. I'll look at some questions now that are coming in, and some great questions being asked. So if you give me a chance, I'll just look through some of these and hopefully answer one or two for you. So I've got one here from a PE teacher just asking about what courses. I would always recommend if football is the sport that you want to start developing, I would always go and look at your level 1 coaching course that would be offered by your local FA, but also the courses that ISST are putting on now. The short diplomas give you a real insight into the world of football as well. So I think now you have to have an open mind of the industry, not just the coach, because it doesn't matter if you're coaching at grassroots level or managing at professional level. The business and the science and the economics behind the sport are key now to how clubs move forward, but also survive. So you have to be mindful as a manager and as a coach how you use your resource within a football club, and also know the economics of how a football club does operate, because you have to have that knowledge and experience, because it will give you a greater chance of becoming successful within the industry. I mean, I've got a question here about universities in the UK for Indian students. You know, there's some great universities here. Really dependent on what course you're looking to enroll on, but England's a good place to study. But I think with technology now, and I hope everyone's safe and well with the current climate, with the coronavirus. I hope everyone's staying home and keeping safe, and hopefully this nasty virus will pass soon, and we can all get back on the grass and start coaching and start meeting up with family and our loved ones again. So just a message to you all to say, I hope you're safe and well. But again, looking at what is currently happening in the world with the virus, again, as ISST do, giving students the opportunity to study at home and keep safe whilst they are developing their knowledge is a great way to look at learning and how we approach learning. Because back in my day, it was about sitting in a classroom for 7-8 hours every day. But now the creativity that is around study and how you can interact with key players within the industry, within the chosen industry of your chosen sport, then these are great ways of learning, and no better way to learn than being able to interact and with key players in the sport. Any advice on building community for football in countries where cricket is more preferred over football. I think I might know where you're on about there. But I think building a community club is what is important. When you look at some of the great footballers that have played, they've started at community clubs. They've started at grassroots clubs. And I think you have to have and this is why I said before, early in the conversation, don't always be led by the governing bodies. Don't always wait for them to lead. Also be proactive yourself and be prepared to break down barriers, because creating a community club is in the title. It's about community. It's about getting young boys, girls playing the sport, but also giving them really, really good knowledge whilst they're doing it. So we're no different to teachers in schools. You know, teachers in schools will see young children come through the doors at 5, 6 years old. Okay, they make learning fun. They make it enjoyable, but they also educate. And I think we as coaches and managers have to be mindful that football's the same, especially at a young age. The young players need to, first of all, enjoy the game. But then, let's educate them. Let's make it fun, but let's educate them and teach, because that's what we're there to do. Okay? So I've got a question again about cricket and football and how to convince really a parent to invest the fees for a child to play football. I don't think you can pressure any parent to invest their finances to any sport, but I can talk for football because it's what I've done from a young age in the professional game here. Football gives you it's a great way to build confidence, to improve your fitness, to be part of a team, and to also look at the business of football now. There's so many jobs and opportunities now, more than ever, in the world of football. I think parents sometimes see, okay, if my son or daughter doesn't become a professional footballer, then there's not a career in football. But actually, there is. There's a huge amount of jobs, as we spoke about before, in football now. Commercial, science, the economics, huge amount of roles and responsibilities in football now. So I think we need to be mindful of that when we do start the journey with young players. Okay, yes, we want them to develop as footballers, but we want to develop them as individuals, to give them as much knowledge and experience both on the grass and in the classroom, because that is key. You know, 99% of players that start the journey of wanting to become a professional footballer do not make the grade. So that's a lot of people who start the journey to become a professional footballer don't actually get there. So again, study, education, giving this knowledge is key to young players. Never neglect the importance of that, because the success rate of being a professional footballer is so small. We've got an interesting question about the diploma. So, interns, what I would suggest you do from here, if you have got any questions about the course, is contact ISST. They will answer any questions for you. we will be there. I've done some recordings for that as well about my experience in coaching, and that information will be shared with you when you enrol on the course. So it'll be my knowledge and experience that I'll be sharing with you via the course. So again, I'll always be here to support and help alongside Leeds United and ISST. So I would just like to thank you all, guys, for your questions. I hope that I've given you some meaningful knowledge and experience that I've built up over the years here in the UK, being a British Asian professional football player. So I'm sure I'll be coming to Pune at some point to visit ISST. So if you're around, I'm more than happy to come and to speak to you all. So thanks again, everyone. Take care, and hopefully I will be in contact with you very, very soon. And as I said, visit ISST, get yourself enrolled on the course, and we'll be speaking again soon. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.